walk and talk video. Yay! It's a really nice day. But I am still trees. Yeah, trees everywhere on the ground and such. Anyway, mediocre. I'm just mediocre. Struggling a bit lately. It's a life thing. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about the general subject of perceptual value versus real value. These people keep talking about things without kind of defending their designation of value beyond just saying that somebody feels like they need it or feels like they want it, and therefore it's put into the category of a real value. And no, that's just a perception that you think it would be a good thing, not actually an argument defending the thing is good. So anyway, it's sort of related to Kaufman's report. I did a video pointing out an argument for a utilitarian argument where the value for the utilitarian philosophy is something like survival of the human race would be the value. And so you would judge the usefulness of things based on whether they tended to make humanity survivable. Well, then you can argue survival for what? 1,000 years or 1,000,000 years? Because what you do, how valuable some act is going to depend on that time frame. Some things will be valuable to both time frames. Other things would have more value or less value depending on how long the human race was going to be projected to exist. So if you're going to argue about like fuel economy or something, yeah, if we were only going to exist 50 more years, then you could just basically say, who cares? Grab whatever we can, burn it, smoke it, do whatever we have to do as cheap as possible, because there's no value equation anymore for any kind of long-term interest. But if we have this prospect that there will be humans 300 years from now, and there won't be any magical solutions like cold fusion or something to save the day, it won't show up in time, then there would be huge value in any behaviors that got people more comfortable with and accustomed to more energy miserly behavior, efficiency, whatever. So anyway, well, the point is that the perception of the value is not something that's easily equated when the scales are variable in terms of what you're measuring. I mean, whether you're measuring over a long or short time frame, and what exactly the thing is that you're putting on the scales. So then you get into this whole risk equation, which complicates things even more, because some value equations are just intrinsically complicated in terms of being able to do something with the risk equation. Somebody gives you a number, like there's 1,000 to 1 chance you will be killed doing something. Well, you could say, you could look at it both ways. 1,000 to 1, well, that's pretty good odds. There's not much chance that I'll win that. But then compared to 1,000,000 to 1, those odds are incredibly good. And it's pretty frightening. So it's all perceptual in terms of how you judge that risk equation. And the bottom line is that the losses are 100% and the wins are 100% kind of a thing. You can't vary the outcome. Like, for example, nuclear power, you either do it or you don't do it. You either accept the worst case scenario risk or you don't accept the risk. But there's no way to really get around some measure of the risk. Certainly you can mitigate against the substance of the risk, but you have to do that by making it so expensive that you won't bother producing it because it's not worth it, because it's too expensive. You're better off spending more on something with less risk, in other words, because the risk equation, the failure is too catastrophic, and protection against the catastrophe is way too expensive. So wait, this is getting so much more technical than I intended. It's kind of an interesting tree in this time of year. It's all white. Yeah. Anyway, I think it's one of those tulip trees, actually, but it doesn't really matter. I just want to, lie down and cease to function. Yeah, I'm just not in the game anymore. Even arguing about not being in the game seems like a lot of work. Anyway, just a complaint I throw in the middle, a little intermission or something. Could do a little soft to or something. Okay, it wasn't very soft. But anyway, alright, enough intermissioning. Back to the hard, difficult work. Struggle. So anyway, now we get into the subject that I sort of wanted to talk about, was the difference. People don't make distinctions between desire and pleasure, and they really don't like to talk about it in those terms. And so they keep avoiding this desire word that is almost universally, every time it arises in you, it's usually flawed or corrupted in some way. It usually has some self-interest involved, or some subjective prejudice or preference that it's built out of. You desire to see your enemies smited and ruined. You desire to have what you don't have, and all this crap, and it's all kind of made out of your own internal need. So when you talk about like a desire, like some people, if I imagine the future, like I see a newborn baby, let's say, or a pregnant woman, I don't think something positive. Hey, pup. Hey. Yeah, it's a good dog. How you doing? Trying. If I see something like that, I don't go, oh, wonderful. A new beginning. Another charming episode of the human experience has begun. No, I just think, what kind of shit is this poor sap in for? What's going to be its charming fate? How's it going to die? What's its last words going to be? So I don't have any comfortable or warm feelings associated with the perception. So like with the perception that human beings would exist 500 years from now, it's not a comforting thought, it's a discomforting thought. It doesn't bring me some sort of peace or solace or joy, whereas somebody who somehow saw value in it, saw the little rat game as having a purpose, well, they might be thinking, oh, if I could tell them for sure, son, that it was guaranteed that we didn't blow ourselves up for the next 500 years, that would give them some sort of peace of mind. And if they could just think of, oh, the human races will keep going on, and joy, fun. And I'm like, what the hell? I don't get it. I don't even know if people think like that. I don't even think they think about it. I think it is much more of a selfish equation. I mean, they have kids for absolutely no good reason. They gloat on, whatever that word is. They they do all the, I don't know what the word is, but anyway, they do all the stuff to a pregnant woman, all the good stuff, not the negative stuff. Probably just because they do the same thing. They've stepped in the same mud, and so they celebrate all the mud steppers. Or they would step in the same mud if somebody would sleep with them, or some other kind of crap. They can imagine stepping in that mud. And so they play the game like, oh, isn't that wonderful? Oh, enjoy it. Or whatever they say. Congratulations. Yeah, way to play God, you reckless, slutty cunt. Way to be incredibly irresponsible. Bravo the fucko, dumb fucking bitch. Well, they don't say that, obviously. I would say that. I would think that, even if I didn't have the guts to say it, I would think it. Who the fuck are you? You stupid slut. Who are you to decide that you can control this experiment, you crazy bitch? Yeah, just ended up getting hostile. But anyways, perception. The value is in the perception, not in the reality. So it's like when I did my thought experiment, and I asked people to explain the harm, the actual real-world harm of an abandoned, orphaned 2-year-old passively dying in its sleep. If it had nobody to love it, nobody knew it existed, what would be the harm if it painlessly died in its sleep? You don't get a rational answer, because there is no harm. The harm is only a perception, a silly notion in one's head that somehow it's bad. There's probably ways to metaphor this. Maybe to the changing of the guard in some way. Like when an old stadium is torn down. Like there's no real harm to reality. The existence of the old stadium is just an idea in people's heads. It was inefficient, stupid, sloppy, dangerous, expensive, smelly. A lot of people had farted in there. So who the fuck cares if you tear it down and build a new one? It's only perceptions in assholes' heads that make it mean something, that the old one's gone. It's nothing real. There's no real damage, no real destruction, just destruction of attachments and associations and connections that are contrived in people's conditioning. Just silly addictions are being tormented. Nothing real, just notions of value are being transgressed. Nothing of real value has been jeopardized. Man, it's actually hot. I'm actually dying. No, it really is warm. I do have a fleece thing under here. And it's just too warm for winter wear. Anyway, so I think I've just made the point that, so when we talk about the future of life on Earth, the problem is people just say stupid stuff like life is life, or nature can't be destroyed, or you can't stop Mother Nature, or whatever it is, you know what I mean, you've heard them all these little tritisms that have nothing to do with reality, nothing to do with rational equations, nothing to do with the logic we apply to other questions that you aren't emotionally attached to. So when you're not emotionally or personally involved, you somehow are capable of answering simple questions about, how you should treat prisoners, or, I don't know, how much taxes people should pay, or some other question. Yeah, you can answer those questions until somehow you're involved. And as soon as you're involved, as soon as it affects you, all of a sudden the answers change. Which isn't that bullshit. How convenient. Let's see where to go with this. Yeah, so the point is that the only utilitarian value, the only value in the universe, if there is any at all, and I think it certainly is a loud and incredibly weighty value, is the experience of this conscious torment that we're capable of experiencing. This, burdensome, weighty, emotional character that can consume us, and the physical harmability. The fact that right now my gallbladder could start leaking, and I could be caused excruciating pain and experience horribly unpleasant sensations, and there'd be nothing I could do about it except endure them, and it would be nasty and horrific, and it'd be something I'd pay hard life pleasure to avoid. I would be willing to extract many joys from my life to avoid that circumstance. I've used this example of math before, that you could find out the real value of this crap if people really had to transact in those terms. If we had a real fair world where you got exactly what you deserved, exactly what you endorsed, the systems and the games you imposed on others would be imposed on you. If you had to live as a slave to live as an owner, it'd be a different world. People would be talking different shit. Because then they couldn't just have a notion in their head anymore. They'd have a notion of a reality, and they'd have a notion of their turn, and they'd understand that they wouldn't want what they think has value while they're sitting in their comfortable chair. Kind of not the best video. I didn't really get to it. I really did I wanted to grab it by its nuts a little harder. So yeah, I just got one nut, and I didn't quite squeeze it till it popped. But, you can't win them all. Yeah, they say that a lot. Yeah. So yeah, we'll try again some other time. No doubt in the future. Yeah. If I have one. Yeah. Anyway. Till next time. Such and so forth. And whatnot. Don't know. Shake one head. I'm shaking my head. This isn't right. Somehow. Wow. The other guy did all the wood chip spreading. Huh. I don't know. Losing jobs everywhere. Anyway, till next time.